What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, on December the 6th, we will see the Golden State Valkyries participate in the expansion draft. So the expansion draft is every team in the WNBA is able to select 6 players that can be protected from the draft, and the rest of the players on the roster are eligible for Golden State to pick up. So Golden State is going to go down the line each team and say, okay, yes, I want this person, I want this person, I want this person. Actually, no, I don't want anybody on your team. We'll skip. Actually, I want to do a trade. Let's, work out a trade. Like so the Golden State Valkyries really does have options to do whatever they want for the expansion draft, but teams get to select players that they protect. And tomorrow, November the 25th, is the deadline of when teams have to submit their 6 players to protect. A thing to note is that players, there are some things to note about if a player's been cored several times, they are not eligible to be picked up by the Golden State Valkyries, and so that's a thing. But largely 6 players from each team is what we're looking at. And we've already done the Chicago Sky, we've done the Indiana Fever, we've done the Connecticut Sun. Y'all can watch those videos in the playlist below. And in this video, we are going to take a look at the Dallas Wings. The Dallas Wings is a team that is going to look very different next year. They're going to have a new head coach. They fired their head coach. They're on the search for a new head coach. They hired a new GM who is Curt Miller. He's leading the search for the new head coach. They also have the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft, which likely is going to be Paige Bueckers if she actually decides to enter the WNBA draft. She does have another year of eligibility, so that's something to note. She's one of those players who's been in college for just about forever. But in this video, we're going to take a look at the Dallas Wings and who Curt Miller is likely to protect and why. All right, let's get into the video. And we start with the player that the Dallas Wings don't have to protect, which, is a thing, but also she's not returning back to the team anyway. She's already said it, is Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard is one of those players who has been cored 2 times already in the WNBA, so she is not eligible to be picked up by the Golden State Valkyries. So that's one of the players you don't have to protect. She's already said she's not returning back to the Dallas Wings. She's already kind of given her farewell. She's likely not returning, but the Dallas Wings do not have to protect her because she is ineligible to be selected by the Golden State Valkyries. So they have 6 protections, though they kind of have 7 because you can't select Natasha Howard. All right, let's get into the 6 that Curt Miller will be protecting. Number 1 on this list, of course, is your best player on the team, Arike Ogunbowale. Arike Ogunbowale is one of those players who is just a certified bucket. She is your shooting guard. She has kind of led been one of the leaders in the WNBA when it comes to points per game, basically every single year that she's been in the league. She's really been doing her thing. And in her career, she's averaging 20 points a game in the WNBA. Of course, you want to protect her. Definitely don't want her to walk for nothing. Definitely not. Next up, you want to protect Satou Sabally. The reason why Satou Sabally, you should protect her, she is a unrestricted free agent, so that's something to note. But you want to protect her because Satou Sabally is a unicorn. Straight up unicorn. She can do just about everything. She is a post player who has guard-like skills. She can shoot the 3. She can get down in the post and play some bully ball. She can get the mid-range. She can kind of do a little bit of everything on the floor. She is one of those players who had an injury, came into the season a little bit late. She was with the team for the first half of the season, but she didn't play because she was getting back from injury. She did play for Germany in the Olympics, came back for the second half of the season. Wasn't quite her normal self because I think she kind of maybe rushed it a little bit getting back. She's one of those players who it was a question mark of whether or not she was going to return to the Dallas Wings or if she was going to go to another team. I do think that the Dallas Wings ends up coring Satou Sabally, and I think Satou Sabally will actually enjoy coming back to the Dallas Wings because they now have Paige Bueckers. Paige Bueckers changes a lot of things. This is going to transform the team and help them win a lot more because, again, you have an opportunity to have Paige Bueckers, Arike Ogunbowale, Satu Sabali, like other players. Like I think it's going to be a huge, huge, huge thing, and that's why Satu Sabali is likely going to be playing for the Dallas Wings in 2025. They're likely going to core her, and she's going to return to the team. So of course you need to protect Satu Sabali because she is the unicorn. Next up, you want to protect JC Sheldon. So JC Sheldon is a player who I really enjoyed watching when she was at Ohio State. She just finished up her rookie season with the Dallas Wings. I thought she gave really good minutes when she played. She is one of those players who is still trying to find her way. I think that she does still need further development just on how to sort of play the guard position as a WNBA player. I think she has a lot of upsides. She's a player who can get it done on both the offensive and defensive end, and she's special. So you don't want to let her go for nothing. And the hope is that the new head coach that Curt Miller hires will be able to really help develop JC Sheldon even further as a WNBA player. Next up, the Dallas Wings will be protecting Maddie Stiles. The reason why is Maddie Stiles is awesome. Like, I don't know if y'all know, Maddie Stiles had a, I would say, okay, rookie season. This past year, though, oh my goodness, Maddie Stiles was fantastic. Yes, she did deal with injury. However, I thought she had a really, really, really great second year in the WNBA. She averaged 9.4 points a game, 3.3 rebounds a game. I think she is one of those players who can do a little bit of everything. She has the height to her, which is great, 6'2", and she's sort of in that sort of small forward / like role, and has a lot of upsides for the Dallas Wings. Next up, I think that the Dallas Wings will be protecting Aoki Kuru. Now, y'all may be like, "What? Aoki Kuru? Why are you protecting Aoki?" Well, the reason why is because, and this is partly, I think, why Curt Miller was hired. The Dallas Wings, their bigs situation is not working. It will not work in the future. I don't think it makes sense to protect a player like a Teaira McCowan. Teaira McCowan has been successful for this Dallas Wings team. However, for them to make that next leap, assuming that they end up getting Paige Bueckers, I don't think Teaira McCowan or Kalani Brown works. I do think Aoki Kuru works. Aoki Kuru did not play in this 2024 WNBA season. She decided to forego it. She was suspended. That's what it says on her profile. She was suspended from the WNBA because she was going to be arriving late. So that's something to note. She's going to be arriving late. Oh my God! Stop, dog. Aoki Kuru was going to be arriving late, so that's why she was placed on the suspended list for the WNBA because of prioritization. She wanted to play in Europe, but did say at the time that she was looking forward to returning back to the Dallas Wings in 2025. Assuming Aoki Kuru comes back to the WNBA on time for the 2025 season and is ready to go, I would say, as Curt Miller needs to be talking to her people right now to make sure that's the case. And if that is, you want to protect Aoki Kuru. The reason why is Aoki Kuru has a crazy amount of upside. Crazy amount. She is a pretty tall player. Of course, she's not as tall as a Kalani Brown or a Teaira McCowan. However, she has a motor. She can score, and she's 6'6", so not 6'7", but 6'6", 23 years old. She's doing well overseas right now, playing in Europe, and she's one of those players that I think is going to be a long time WNBA player. She has great upside. You don't want to have the possibility of Aoki Kuru leaving for nothing. She also has a crazy motor. So I think she can run. I think she can run with the likes of Paige Bueckers and Aoki Kuru and Satu Sabali for years and years and years to come. So yes, I would protect Aoki Kuru. I know a lot of people are not thinking about protecting Aoki Kuru, but you need to protect her, okay? Because she is the future, in my opinion, when it comes to the center position for the Dallas Wings. Next up, I would protect Carla Leite. So the reason why I want to protect Carla Leite is because Carla is one of those players who was drafted by the Dallas Wings. She was the number 9 pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. She is a guard who can score. She can score quite a few points. She is another one of those French players. There's something about these French players. They're really, really good. And I think if she decides to come to the WNBA, there's just a huge amount of upsides. The question mark is, will we see her play in the WNBA? I think that's a big question. Right now, she's playing overseas. She's doing pretty well on that front. But again, she's one of those other players I just see a lot of upsides from, especially if the Dallas Wings get a coach that can really help develop players. I think from a guard perspective, she kind of is kind of like your future, right? You'll have Paige Beckers, assuming she enters the draft. You have Aoki Kuru, JC Sheldon, and I think Carla Leite could be that other sort of rotation piece eventually coming off the bench if she actually decides to come to the WNBA. So that's why I would protect her. So again, my 6 players that I would be protecting is Aoki Kuru, Satou Sabally, JC Sheldon, Maddie Stiles, Aoki Kuru, and Carla Leite. All right. Now, here are the players who I am not protecting. I am not protecting Bella Ilari. I don't think it makes any sense to protect her. Jaylen Brown doesn't make any sense to protect her. She barely played because she was injured for a good amount of the season. Kalani Brown has been a spark off the bench for the Dallas Wings. I think she has given some positive stuff there. However, I think the Dallas Wings need to move on from her and allow her to get picked up if the Valkyries want. Now, just because they're leaving players unprotected does not mean that all these players are going to be gone. You know, only one of these players are going to be gone from the Dallas Wings. But I think she's Kalani Brown's one of those players that you could just leave open if the Valkyries want her, let them have her. Same thing for Tierra McCowan. These are 2 players who are very tall. There are lots of upsides. However, I just think they're a little bit too slow for what Dallas is looking to do. And so because of that, if Golden State wants them, let them have them. Another player who I would say is sort of like one of those players like, you know, they can kind of go is Stephanie Soares. I like Stephanie Soares. I do think she has a lot of potential in the WNBA. But it's another one of those things where you can only select 6 players. I think if Golden State wants her, sure. But she's one of those players that's likely they're not going to pick up. Also, Sevgi Uzun is another player who I would not be protecting if I am the Dallas Wings. I think, again, she's one of those international guards who can light it up at times and has done well overseas. I just don't think she's done enough for the Dallas Wings to make them want to protect her. Lou Lopez-Sinisal, another possible, long-standing talent in the WNBA, but again, it's a question mark about like, is she really someone that you should really protect? The thing about the Dallas Wings, they have a lot of talent. They have a lot of young talent on their team. They've really amassed that over the years. But you can only protect 6 players. So there's going to be players that you're going to leave open, and we'll kind of see what happens. Paige Robinson is another player who was drafted last year by the Dallas Wings, did not end up signing with the team, but the team does have her rights. They're not going to protect her. I don't think it makes any sense. So those are kind of my thoughts right there. I think that Dallas should be looking to just sort of reinvent themselves. And I think that's why some of these players will not be protected. If I am the Golden State Valkyries, I'm looking at Sevgi Uzun. I'm looking at Lou Lopez Senasal, I'm looking at Stephanie Soares. Those are the 3 players I'm looking at in terms of players that I might be interested in drafting. So that's kind of my thoughts on that front. What do y'all think? Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments below. That is my look at the Dallas Wings. I do have every other WNBA team coming up soon. So make sure y'all check out the channel. Make sure y'all like. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I'm making content all about women's basketball. So if that is your thing, make sure to lock it right here. We're not doing all the, there's a lot of stuff that can be talked about when it comes to women's basketball. I try to cover a little bit of everything, but I want to make sure that this channel is rooted in actual news, rooted in actual analysis around these players, around the game. So if y'all like that, make sure to subscribe. I will catch y'all in the next one. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.